Hi, welcome to the Crystal Cabin for the Mothership. My name's Michelle from Angelic Healing, and today I'm going to be talking to another Michelle. Good morning. Hi, how are you?
Good morning, Michelle. I'm really well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on a gorgeous day.
It is a gorgeous day, and you're welcome. And it's your birthday today, Michelle.
Yay, I'm
Yay, happy
21 again.
birthday. Well, it's lovely of you to give your time up on your birthday to be talking to us on the Mothership. So do you want to introduce yourself? Let everybody know who you are and what makes you happy.
Oh, thank you. Well, my name's Michelle Kehoe. I'm the owner and founder of Leaf Organic CBD, which is a health and wellness product. And the things that make me happy are very, very simple. Being in the house with the family and running in the woods. Very simple
Lovely.
girl.
Yeah. So you like to do your running? Do you do that regularly?
Yeah, I'm an obstacle racer, I think is the correct word. So I run on quite a high level. No races this year, unfortunately, but yeah, I train 6 days a week, a combination of running, rig training and weights.
Oh, wow. Well, we know who to come to if we want to get into running with weights. Fantastic. Right, so you want to give us a little bit about your background, Michelle?
Yeah, so my background is fitness, funnily enough. I come from a sports and fitness background. I'm a fully qualified personal trainer, but I realised that I was actually not a very good personal trainer. So after a number of years, I moved away from the personal training business. I had a fantastic growing business. I realised I was a better salesperson than I was coaching people. So I then went back into my sales and marketing days, and I've done that all of my life up until recently when I discovered CBD through my own personal issues that I struggled with anxiety and wanted to find another alternative, and discovered this amazing plant-based product. And so that's how
sorry, I was just going to say that's what inspired you to, but you were coming to that anyway.
Yeah, just kind of stumbled into it because I was looking for different alternatives. This product had landed on my desk when I was at work, and the company I worked for didn't particularly want to touch it, didn't fit with them. And I was like, this stuff's amazing. I started researching it, and it started to help me. And it really opened my eyes. But then I realised that not all CBD was equal, and the information that people were giving was not correct. This is where my fitness and science head kicked in. So after a number of years of researching it and being very frustrated with the market and the offerings that were being given, my husband told me basically to shut up or do something about it. So I did something about it. So he has to keep hearing all about CBD.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fantastic story. Brilliant. So what's the name of your business then? How have you got launched?
Very simple, Leaf Organics, because it's from the leaves of the cannabis plant, and don't be horrified about that. And then who knows what will happen with the cannabis industry. So I didn't want to call it just CBD because there are, lots of different products involved with it. So yeah, Leaf Organics.
Right, so how does it all work? I don't know anything at all about CBD, so I'm really interested to know what it does for you and how that it works.
I'll try and put it as simply as possible because there's a lot of science behind it, but very basically it comes from the cannabis plant. But it's not cannabis as we know it that you buy from down the road, should we say. Cannabis is actually, it's from industrial hemp, which is a kind of cannabis species. So it just means that the THC, that's the bit that gets you high, has been removed. So when the plant's grown, the THC within that plant is a lot lower than the stuff that you buy illegally. It's then processed into this beautiful golden oil called CBD, and we all know that as the products that then help your system. CBD can help with everything from anxiety, pain, inflammation, hormone production, and the reason for that is it helps your own natural endocannabinoid system. Every mammal has an endocannabinoid system, and if that's working perfectly, our bodies work in harmony. But if it's out of kilter, you start getting ailments and things going wrong with you. So by adding that CBD in, it helps the system work in harmony. And that's the easiest way I can describe it. I can put science.
It's a fantastic explanation. Thank you, appreciate it. So how do we take it? Is it in, I heard you talk about it being in an oil, but is there a tablet form? Do you want to go into a little bit more detail?
Yeah, so CBD itself is it's a cannabinoid. It's a phytocannabinoid which mimics our own cannabinoids, and it's actually a lipid-based product. So it means it's got to be in fat. It's got to be in a fat. It's got to be in an oil to get it in your system. So we put it in with, one is a hemp oil, which is a nice omega-3 oil, which is really good for you. The other product we have is in an MCT coconut oil, again, really, really good for you. The CBD is suspended within that. So you can pop it under your tongue as an oil. So I don't know if you can see behind me the little bottles that we have
yes.
here.
Yeah,
so that's the best way of getting it into your system. You pop it under your tongue, so many drops. You hold it under your tongue and it goes into your system. The other way of taking it is, because not everybody likes to do that, is just in a vegan capsule form. Exactly the same product, but just in a vegan capsule. You can vape CBD, but for me, it doesn't sit with me. It doesn't sit with that whole connotation of vaping, and we don't know long term what vaping can do to you. So the best way is to take it that, and then the final way is by topical application. So actually put it onto your skin, because you also have receptors in your skin. So I've created a whole group of topical products to help with pain and inflammation.
Wow, that's fantastic. So pain and inflammation, let's talk about that for a little while. So for example, Ruth actually mentioned in one of her rambles about going for a run, and that she had some of your product put on her knee. See, Ruth, I am listening. So tell us what will she do with that product? Is that will she use that in a drop, or?
So this, the one that Ruth had is the balm. It's my go-to product, and it's a really strong balm that you pop wherever is sore on your body. It's a bit like Voltarol ibuprofen gel in a tub.
Oh, wow.
And what happens is that when you apply it directly onto your skin, you have these receptors in your body, so it reacts with those. So it tells your body to, basically, it helps with pain perception, and it helps reduce the inflammation in the area where you put it. So if you can think of it like an ibuprofen gel, but it's done naturally. So what it'll have helped with, Ruth, it will have helped reduce the inflammation. It will have helped the pain perception with it. And it's also, there is some anecdotal information coming out that it actually can help with repair and renewal of cells. So yeah, it's my go-to one. But it also, that the balm is fabulous. You can put it on insect bites, spots, dry skin. My son uses it for his migraine. He pops it on his forehead, arthritis. If anybody's going to buy any product, you buy the balm.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm glad we started with that one then. So would you have to keep using that for it to build up, or how long does it take for you to see the results then?
So CBD is a really personal thing, because everybody's system processes CBD quickly, or more quickly than the other person. You may have two twins with exactly the same ailment, and they'll each need a different amount of CBD to help them, just because of the way your body processes it. So the recommendation is 25 milligrams of CBD a day, but you can take up to 70. I weigh just under 9 stone, and I take about 40 milligrams, but I do a lot of running. So everybody's journey is different. Some people notice, particularly with sort of stress and inflammation, stress and sleep, you can notice changes almost immediately. But for pain and inflammation, it can take up to 6 weeks. And that's the same with any kind of medication. They always say give it 6 weeks, because at the end of the day, it's plant-based. It's not a snake oil. It's not a miracle cream. It's a plant-based product.
There are so many people looking for that magic wand that to just be fixed. Yeah, you've got to give it time. Like any plant really needs to take root for it to grow. Then obviously it needs to find its way into the body for it to make that difference. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the balm, I'm trying to picture how it comes. Is it in a little pot? How long does the pot last?
Do you want me to run and go and grab some? I didn't
Yeah,
even
go
get
for
any.
it. Absolutely.
2 seconds, just sing between you all.
I could sing happy birthday. Just bear with us for a second. I just think it's worth seeing the actual product. Here we go.
I didn't even think to bring some on
It's fine.
with me, but they're always here. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
a good
only a little tin.
tub, yeah.
This goes everywhere, and I don't know if you can see. It's like, it looks a bit like it is like a like lip silver. It looks like,
yeah,
and it smells amazing. It's got all vanilla in it. It's all vanilla essence in it, and you just literally rub it on wherever it goes. This is so soothing. I don't know if you can see how shiny my hand's gone. I don't know.
Oh yes, lovely.
And it smells of vanilla, and it's just beautiful. It's got shea butter in it, it's got beeswax in it. This is one of the products that isn't vegan because of the beeswax in it, but everything else is really natural. And that little tub has got 500 milligrams of CBD, so that's quite a lot really for a topical application. So yeah, that is, if anybody's going to buy a product, that's the one to get.
There you go, fantastic. There's your sales head back on. So have you got the, dare I ask, have you got the little oil, the little droplets
I
there?
certainly have. So I'll show you the two. There we go. So these are literally 10 ml bottles. So depending, a lot of people talk about strengths. Everybody goes, it's 5%, 10%. Ignore that. You want to know how many milligrams of CBD you're buying in this bottle. That's how much you're going to know what you're paying for. And depending on which size bottle will depend on strength. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
And when we talk about a drop of CBD, we literally mean a drop. Can you see those falling? They're literally dropping out, and I'm not even squeezing it, they just naturally fall out. And depending on which strength bottle will depend on how many drops you need to get you 25 milligrams, and that's what I'm here for. I'll guide you to that. Plus there's loads of information on the website. Another thing when you're buying CBD should be a nice golden colour. It actually should smell like cannabis. If it doesn't taste like cannabis, what are you buying? It's from the cannabis plant. But it shouldn't taste nasty. It shouldn't taste violet. It tastes a bit like green tea.
I was just going to ask, actually, for anybody that's not tasted cannabis, that wouldn't know whether it does taste like cannabis or not. Is there a liken to it? So,
yeah,
so
a bit
green,
like green tea.
Yeah, fantastic.
If you ever try a CBD that's kind of like a dark black colour, usually what's happened, it's not been processed fully. It's not had heat applied to it, so it's still quite an unstable product, and it tastes like licking the bottom of a bin. Now, nobody wants to do that.
No.
So if it's processed correctly and had all those nasties taken out of it, it will look lovely and golden. We do have an alternative because not everybody likes that green tea taste, so we do have a peppermint flavour which just tastes like polo mints, which is lovely.
So do you know, you've just taken the perception of the cannabis side away from what it is that you're doing, if you like. Yeah. I don't know about anybody else, but you know, when you think of cannabis, you do think of, well, you say you can get down the road, and what you've just done, talking about the vanilla and the oil and how golden and it smells beautiful and it comes in the peppermint and all the different properties and qualities, you've just completely turned that upside down for it to be completely acceptable.
Yeah, well, if you think of, to give you an idea, so CBD was, cannabis was demonised about 70 years ago because of THC. So that's, CBD stands for cannabidiol. That's the long name for it. But within the cannabis plant, there is 113 different cannabinoids. The CBN, the CBG, they all do these amazing little things. And in my product, you basically have most of that, with a microscopic dose of THC. THC actually does have some really good pain relieving anti-inflammatory products, but we don't want it in the masses. We want a tiny bit of it. We don't want huge amounts. We still want to be able to drive. I don't want to feel drowsy. I don't want to get the munchies and all these other things that we think of. So to give you an idea, in that bottle there is less than 1 milligram of THC. That will last you, even at my lowest dose, a month. Now, to give you an idea, to get high on THC, tetrahydrocannabidiol, I think.
Easy for you to say.
I don't even think I said it right then. So THC, you need 10 to 20 milligrams, and there's 1 milligram in that. So it's like pouring a glass of wine and leaving it on the side for a month. You just go and dip your finger in it. It's not going to do anything. But what it does, it's called a full spectrum product. That full spectrum means the whole plant is working together, and there's a lot of information to say that these full spectrum products, it means that the plant and all the other cannabinoids that are contained within it, you're not just buying CBD, you're buying the whole of the plant. But you are not going to get high, you're not going to fall asleep at the wheel, you're still going to be able to drive, you know, all these different things, it will not affect you. Yeah, and I was horrified talking about cannabis in front of my mum. Now, my mum always giggles about it, you know, and yeah, it's not. We're trying to break those boundaries down, but it is not taboo anymore. It's not a taboo subject.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So, when you said that you took so much a day, are you taking that every single day? And if so, what? What do you take it for, if you don't mind me asking?
No, that's absolutely fine. Well, I started my journey with CBD because of anxiety. I struggled with chronic anxiety disorder, PTSD, OCD, and every other acronym you can think of. And I was ticked every box. And it started to help me. I was fed up with being on medication. I am still a great believer in Western medicine.
Yeah.
And if anybody is struggling with any kind of anything, you should always go to the doctors. This is not instead of medication, this is as well as.
Mm-hmm.
And what I started to realise, it started to calm my system. And the reason it works very nicely is, one of the things that they have discovered is that one of the cannabinoids, one of your natural cannabinoids, is called anandamide, which is the fancy word for the bliss molecule, the one that makes you feel happy, the one that makes your mood calm, the one that balances you. That's the one that most of us struggle with. We're all up and down. And as we get older, we're all here, there and everywhere.
Yeah.
So what happens is we age, or we have stress or environmental factors, that production of the bliss hormone or the happy hormone is sort of unbalanced, for want of a better word. So when we add in an endocannabinoid, the photocannabinoid, like CBD, you're topping that system up. So straight away, you're flooding your body with this anandamide, which is this feel-good hormone. So you naturally have this feeling of calm and well-being almost instantaneously. But what it does on a longer term, over about the 6 to 8 weeks, it helps rebuild parts of your brain, particularly your hippocampus, to help regulate that hormone production. So on the longer term, it can help. So yeah, for me, it was phenomenal. Sorry, I've gone off completely there, haven't I?
No, not at all. That was perfect, because when we were talking about pain, I wanted to come to the anxiety, because you mentioned that in the beginning as part of your story. So that was perfect. Don't apologise at all. It's very interesting, and you know, it really is a fascinating subject, and I think lots of people will be able to watch this again and again and again, and it will just change the perception of the whole thing. It's obviously a very natural remedy for helping so many different aspects of your well-being, and that's what we're looking for. That's what the whole point of the Wellbeing Academy is, looking to support each other in the mothership with our mental health and well-being. And there are so many different things that we can all go for, but we haven't come across this before. So this is really interesting and fascinating, and I actually really appreciate the fact that you've gone into the science and told your own story and made it real. You've made it really real for us. So
well,
that's
it
fantastic.
has to be. And kind of going back to the science again, the endocannabinoid system is like a neural pathway. It's a pathway, and if you can imagine, the road's a bit rutted as we get older, and what we want to do is have that road nice and clear again. And all CBD is helping. It's a neurotransmitter. So what tends to happen is, a lot of these that we have, these systems within our system, like your dopamine and the serotonin systems, this one's they kind of switch on, but what the endocannabinoid system tends to do is switch stuff off. As we age and we struggle with inflammation, our inflammation signals are on, our stress hormones are on, everything's on, the lights are on, and we need to kind of switch them off again. So this is where the endocannabinoid slightly different, it down regulates, so it helps turn those things off and cool and calm our system. And that's why it can help with the pain and inflammation, because it helps cool and calm that system.
You're talking there about the different hormones to relate to, and we mentioned age a couple of times. Now I'm going to ask the question because it's relevant to me, and I'm sure it'll be relevant to many more of us. I'm going to ask the big menopause question, because a lot of the things you were talking about there really relate and do cross over to the hormones and the different experiences that we have on our path as a woman in the menopause. So this can help with menopause symptoms as well, especially the anxiety and the sleep issues. What about the hot flushes side of things?
Well, I'm really pleased you touched on this, because this is something that I'm researching more and more, because I'm definitely perimenopausal, but the CBD is really helping me, and I'm starting to research loads about this. So I didn't realise how many issues that you get with the menopause, not just the hot flashes, dizziness is one of them, tinnitus I found out the other day, all these things, because so what happens, you've got all these systems that are at the moment, when you go through perimenopausal, the hormones are on 1 minute, they're off the next, they're upside down, and they've done a roller coaster loop somewhere in the middle. And we're at the end of it, having a lie down, going, oh my God, what's happened to me? Just as we've got to a point in our life where we go, do you know what, as we've said before, I know who I am, I'm doing really well and my life's really cool, and then menopause hits us and we lose it. We absolutely lose our minds, literally. So what CBD does, it helps, it's also responsible for your temperature signaling, so that's why it helps with hot flashes. It helps with the hormone production, so it's not going to stop the menopause happening. What it does, it can help regulate the down spiral as our estrogen levels change. It can help with that. It can help with the moods, because you know, you just think you get into grip with our mood swings and bang, menopause comes in, like, you know, hello, I'm here.
Loud and clear.
So funnily enough, I wrote a very small article on the menopause, but because there's loads and loads of research coming out, I'm actually rewriting it as we speak, because it helps with so many different things, and it helps just calm our system down, and like I said to somebody, I can't guarantee it works. I'm not allowed to say it works, but all I can say is I've had lots of ladies that it's helped. And what's the worst that's going to happen? It's a plant-based product. Try it. If it works, great. And if it doesn't, what have you lost? You know.
Yeah, fantastic.
But I'm here to guide you.
Oh, Michelle, that's wonderful. Thank you. Really appreciate that. When you finish your article, you must post it in the mothership, because that'd be really interesting for people. So, you know, lots. If we're not there yet, ladies, some of us, you're on your way, or others have passed through. So it affects all of us one way or the other.
And you know, it's such a personal journey as well. It can affect one lady in one way and another lady in a completely different way. And I think it's just saying that actually this is part of our journey, but actually it shouldn't be horrific, and that's what it shouldn't be. You know, it should be part of that change of our years into, should be a nice journey, not something horrific.
Yeah, so we know we can deal with it with the menopause. We know we can use it and it will help with pain and anxiety. Is there anything else that you want to add that's really key for people, popular?
At the moment, sleep. So the main people that people come to me for, so it's anxiety is the main one, then it's sleep, and then it's pain and inflammation. I have a lot of people with chronic pain conditions, and I do advise you, because everybody's condition is different. One of the things that I do pride myself on is that I don't just sell you a bottle. It's not about that for me. I actually spend a long time getting to know you, if you're on medication, what your lifestyle's like, and I recommend dosage and timing. I had a lady crying to me the other day about a migraine, so we went through a different aspect with her, so it can help with the migraine again. But sleep, don't we all just go through different waves? I'm quite lucky. I'm like, when my head hits the pillow, I clinically die for 8 hours. I'm brilliant at sleeping. Yeah, I'm really lucky.
Great sleep.
Is that because I'm on CBD? Who knows? You know, because there's been a time of my life where I would lie awake all night. So CBD again helps. We think it's because it reduces the stress hormone. If you've got stress hormones flying around your system, you ain't going to sleep, because if your heart rate's through the roof and your brain's going da 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 da, who can get to sleep? It's like having 5 cups of coffee and then going, go on brain, sleep. It doesn't work like that. So no. CBD, again, we would advise a different dosage. So we'd advise quite a whack at night time, about an hour before bed. And I'd explain what a whack is. We have to start on 25 milligrams, and then we build up depending on your system. And what it does, it helps signal all the right things to make sure that you're producing the right sleep signals, that you produce the right, because at bedtime, your circadian rhythm can get out of kilter. So your circadian rhythm is your wake sleep cycle. So there's all these things that we can do. You should always address your sleep cycle, that your bedroom's in a nice cool, it's nice and dark, you know, all those kind of things. Sometimes our bodies are going mad. So it's, again, getting the right hormone production at the right time, reducing the stress. It can be that the fact that you're not sleeping well because you've got pain and inflammation going on, or you've got menopause hormones flying around your system. So again, it helps massively for the sleep. But again, I've got another article. I've got loads of articles on the website that if you want to read the science. But again, I would advise you to take all of your CBD at night time, not like other conditions where we take it different parts through the day.
Really key. Yeah, I can relate to what you're saying. It calms things down and takes away the stress, so that your body's able to rest and you can sleep. Because I have to do meditation to be able to go to sleep, which does the same thing.
Yeah.
All for something that's natural, as long as that it's not a whack over the head that you're giving us an hour before bedtime.
Absolutely. That's why people worry about being like having a sedative, because there's loads. I've read loads about sleep. I'm a massive sleep ambassador. So when you take a sleeping tablet or something like alcohol that knocks you out, it creates a false sleep. It creates a sleep that isn't right for your brain. So actually it doesn't help you. You wake up groggy and horrible. CBD doesn't do that because it isn't a sedative. What it does, it works with your own system. So it helps the signaling, not the knocking out. I don't know if that makes sense at all.
That makes perfect sense.
So it helps your own body just get back on the right path. If you can imagine, it's like going, I describe it's like going down a path that you walk down. And at the moment, when your signalling's not right, it's like there's loads of bushes have got in the way and the road's a bit rutted. When you put the CBD in, it's like it's cleared the pathway. It's like it's made it dead clear. So your body goes, sleep, pain, inflammation, goes to the right receptor, sends the signal to it, and then goes, right, I need you to sleep, I need you to switch off, I need you to calm down, I need you to whatever it is that your body signal is telling your body to do. It delivers the message, it responds to it, and then goes, thanks very much. But when that signalling pathway's out of kilter, it doesn't quite get to the receptor, does it? And doesn't give the right information. So again, I've gone a bit sciencey again.
No,
but
that's fine. Carry on.
Kind of how it works. It's allowing to clear that pathway to get the right message, to allow your body to work how it's supposed to work. It's not a sedative while it knocks you out. Because I've had sleeping tablets before, and it felt definitely like a false sleep. It felt like I've been walloped over the head. And then you wake up just as tired. And you're like, well, there's 9 hours that didn't do anything.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, that's really, really clear explanation for the science and for the human side of it as well. So appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you. So how have you been during the lockdown then? Because I know you've been having an extension. Tell us about that, because your business going forward is going to look quite spectacular in your new extension.
Oh my goodness. So I have loved lockdown apart from the building work. So lockdown for me, I have trained all my life with my anxiety head for world apocalypse. So while everybody else was losing their mind, I'd already trained for this. So I kind of went, I've got this in the bag. I know how to do my meditation and my breathing, and it's cool because I have my coping strategies. And all these people that didn't have stress and anxiety were losing their mind, and I found it really interesting. But I'm happy. My happiest place has been at home with my family. So for me, it was great. My husband hated every minute of it because he managed a month at the dining room table working till the kids, the dog and everything else got on his nerves, so we went back into the office. But prior to this, so I set my business up tail end of December, beginning of January.
Really new then?
Really new. Not new for me. I've been in CBD for about 4 years, but the business was. We launched, obviously not expecting this. We planned to do an extension so I could gain an office. And I was going to sit at the kitchen table for about a month. We're in July. So yeah, we planned the extension. The builders got delayed for one reason or another and started 2 weeks before lockdown, and then lockdown happened. And then for the last 4 weeks, I've had numerous builders at the house, and it's been exhausting because every time they've left, I've wanted to bleach everywhere and get rid of the builderness. I've been trying to conduct a business with builders screaming and shouting and banging and clanging going on, and turning the Wi-Fi off. And so yeah, the last couple of weeks have been a bit of a nightmare, but they've all gone. We've just got a little bit of painting to do. Carpet goes in tomorrow. I might move my office on Friday.
Yay! You'll have to post a picture for us. We'd love to see your new office space. Really exciting. Brilliant. So coming out of lockdown, then that leads us nicely to do you have any tips, any golden hints and tips for anybody who might be a little bit fearful or anxious coming out of lockdown?
I've said all the way through this lockdown, I think there's been too much pressure put on people saying you must come out with a new skill. Nuh-uh. You need to come out with your mental health intact. And if that means you sitting there watching Netflix, going to the fridge every 5 minutes, going on a bike ride, baking every day, whatever it is that has allowed you to get through this, you need to do that. And if you come out with a new skill, that's just a double bonus. We can fix all those other things afterwards. But coming out of lockdown for everybody's going to be different. Some people are going to be fearful. Some people may have shielded for, 4 months and a bit agoraphobic. So I would say you do what you feel comfortable with. If you feel that somebody is too close to you, you have every right to politely ask them to please step away, keep a metre away. You have no problem doing that, and take it at your own time. Don't feel that you've got to rush back to normal life, because I don't think anything ever is going to be normal. take your time. It's a personal journey, and don't let anybody else's opinion or what they're doing rule what you should is right for you.
Lovely. Sound advice. Excellent. I've really enjoyed learning about your business. It's fascinating. Love the science bit. Don't ever apologise for that, because it really helps, actually, you know, for people to understand the hows. I think we always say, this is what I do, but I think the focus really needs to be, and this is what it'll do for you. And this is how it works.
I think that's where I'm different. There's a lot of CBD companies out there that can talk the talk but don't walk the walk. I've stood this for 4 years, and a lot of it is hard to get your head around, because there isn't that much scientific information, because it's quite a new product, for want of a better word. But I spend days and days reading medical journals, and I've tried to get my head around it. It may not all be correct. I'm learning, and if I can correct myself and make my knowledge better, all I can do is make myself a better consultant for everybody else who wants an alternative.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because at the very beginning of this chat, you said, I didn't feel like actually listening to you. You're a brilliant coach. You've been able to tell us so much information. You're so diverse in what you're able to offer. Lots of things with sleep, the pain, the hormones, the anxiety, everything. And you've explained it all beautifully. So you're not allowed to say that again.
I think it was more the fact that I used to coach people and ask them to do things, and they wouldn't do it, and they used to think paying me money would help them lose weight, and that's what I got frustrated with.
Okay, glad you understood that.
I was a rubbish coach, in the sense I used to get really infuriated by a lady or ladies that would pay me a certain amount of money and then, why haven't I lost any weight, Michelle? So I used to mumble things under my breath.
It doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human, so don't worry about that. Michelle, absolutely fantastic. Let us know how you get on with your coming out of the lockdown into the new norm, whatever that looks like for you. A very exciting time ahead with your extension. Love to hear from you with the articles that you've talked as well, and I'm sure our paths will cross again in the mothership, in the Wellbeing Academy. Absolutely fabulous to meet you, and have a lovely birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Soon.
Thank you. I hope to come down to the Crystal Cabin for some treatments.
You're very welcome. The Crystal Cabin's a temporary thing while we've got the lockdown going on. But as soon as I'm comfortable with opening the cottage again, my therapy rooms will be back available. But yeah,
and I will be there.
More than welcome.
Thank
Lovely
you, Michelle.
to meet you, darling. Have a lovely day. Take care.